Hello everyone. Sorry if there's some extra noise today. I've got some people working in my crawl space and it's a little noisy. I apologize. If it gets unbearable, I might stop. But I wanted to still try since I committed to drawing every day this month for Inktober. So yeah. Today's prompt is path. Let me see if I can move this a little bit closer to me. And I know this will probably be a little bit more obscure for most people. Yesterday I said I hate drawing hands, and so today I'm drawing hand because I do scary things. I've been listening to, oops, that's still purple. I've been listening to the High Republic books, and they talk about a sect, a religious sect in phase 2 of the High Republic, and that sect is called the Path of the Open Hand. And so that's been very much in my brain. It's been, so when I saw the prompt was path, I was like, well, guess I'm doing this because I cannot separate that word from the book I've been listening to. Plus, I need to practice drawing hands. I watched a video last night that said a finger has 3 equal sections, which I thought was very fascinating. But of course, you've got to know how long the first section is in order to know how long the other 2 sections are. Hey, Danny. Hey, Zane. Zane, I think you'll appreciate what I'm drawing today. And I apologize for the noise. Please let me know if it's like too much. If it's too loud, I can just finish and then post my drawing later without being on a stream. But this is the only chance I have to draw today, and I wanted to try. But if it's a terrible watch experience, I don't want to make you guys suffer through it. It's hard for me to tell from this, from where I am. Like, it's pretty loud to me, but I don't know if that means it's loud for everyone else. Do you need a hand? It's a jackal? Oh no. Did it die? I can still see it. I think this needs to be higher. Okay, thanks, Kylie. I was like, where's my, oh, it's very small. I was like, why is it not erasing? Okay, good. I'm glad it's back. I was saying earlier, Zane, I don't know if you were on at the time. Let's see, 1, 2, that's a bit longer. 3, so that's longer too. Okay. I have been listening to the Battle of Jeddah. So this prompt today is path, and I can't disassociate it from the path of the open hand. So I am drawing an open hand. Specifically mine, because I wanted a reference that would be easy to acquire. This also needs to be a little bit taller. And I also mentioned yesterday, I am not incredibly great at drawing hands, and I really want to get better at it. So I figured this would be an opportunity to practice drawing hand shape. 1, 2, 3-ish. And then this is gonna, another thing somebody in the video I watched mentioned was drawing, instead of just drawing like a square like this, having a like almost like a heart kind of shape over here, or half a heart shape to connect to the palm down here, so that you don't lose where the thumb is gonna go. And so this will come down naturally that way, and the thumb will come up. My thumb looks way bigger than my fingers. Let's see, let's bring that in a little bit. I think I'm also gonna bring this in a little more over here. Thanks, Danny. Thanks for giving me a hand. But yeah, to make it clear that it's, you know, relating to the path of the open hand, I'm going to be putting on the palm right here, like oops, if I could spell, that would help. So I'll write that on the palm. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. It's actually kind of far away. There you go. But I'm actually going to erase that for right now because I want to make sure I get the strokes on the palm correct here. This needs to come in more still. Is that the Infinity Gauntlet, Danny? Hi, Taylor. Welcome. And congratulations again on winning the giveaway. I was very excited when I saw your name pop up. Okay, what is... This pinky is bothering me. I think because it's too tall. Yep, it's too tall. Let's see if I can liquefy it. Push it down a little bit. I'm gonna have to redraw this. Skeletons. That is what is happening right now. It's okay. Oh, crap. I forgot to, nope. There we go. Turn on my focus. I'm not getting all my weird notifications in the middle of this. Danny, you of all people know it's not rigged. Okay, let's see. I do want to actually have a wrist in here too. Actually, it's gonna start a little bit closer in. I don't usually do. Oh, I didn't actually photograph my wrist here. Now I'm gonna have to like look at it in the middle of me drawing to see if I can find out where that tendon kind of sits. But yeah, I'm not used to doing like realism in drawings, but I want to practice it because I know that if I get good at doing anything realistic, it will just improve my art overall. I usually prefer kind of the comic-y look because I like making jokes and drawing silly stuff. But yeah, the more realistic I can draw, the more I know I will help myself improve in the long run. So it's good to practice everything. Okay. Danny says he used math to win. My previous giveaway, I made people guess how many Legos were in the bin. The 2 bins that I was holding in the picture that I posted. And he guessed the exact right number, which I was not expecting anybody to guess that. And and then he tried to guess a second time, and I was like, listen, dude, it's only 1 guess per person. But of course, in my head, I'm going, you already won. You need to calm down. But he didn't know that because I hadn't announced the winner yet. But I was very impressed. Okay, so turns out I can draw a hand. Fun fact. Little known fact about me, something I didn't even know. It is possible. Let me widen this a little. I literally was like in bed last night watching YouTube videos about how to draw hands, like tips for drawing hands and stuff, so that I'd be prepared for today. Oh, we're getting some groove in the back of this because the guy downstairs is playing music. I don't know if you can hear that actually, but he was for a second there. Rose? Is it the Rose that I know, or is this a different Rose? Because I need to know. Oops, still on eraser. It's you! Yay! Hello, welcome. I'm not sucking at this, which I'm happy about. I don't think I need this line here though. It might be giving me definition that I want. without me realizing it. Well, I don't want a ton of lines down here either. I'm okay with a little bit, but the palm has to kind of give itself some shape here. Still looking a little funky here with an O. Sorry, we won't have any cat sightings today. They are locked up upstairs because we have people working in our house. I'm sad, and they are also sad. I actually have some cat scratches because I was trying to get them upstairs, and Toph was very mad at me for manhandling her upstairs. Was not having it. Mostly because she was scared, and she probably would have just run upstairs if I'd let her go, but I wanted to make sure she went into the right room and not like where I was going to lock them up, and not just into like some other room. So it was my fault. It was on me. Thank you. Thanks, Taylor. I'm glad you are enjoying it. I'm actually really impressed with how quickly that happened too. I was expecting to be working on the sketch part for way longer. I still think this pinky needs some help over here. Like, I can see in the reference photo that there's a little bit of like an angle. It might be something that I need to do in my inking stage where I can give it more shadow, and that'll kind of delineate more of that, like, actually this can move down as well. But it'll make it a little bit more clear that, is that low enough? That it's kind of, you know, bent in a little bit. Because that's the main thing I feel like about hands is like, there's so many different positions for them to be in. It changes things, you know? You kind of have to just know the structure of anatomy, which I think I'm decent when I'm looking at something visually at kind of interpreting a structure, but I was not like an anatomy girly in school or even a science girly in school. So like, I'm kind of like now looking up things like, oh, that's a muscle there. Oh, okay. I didn't have the greatest relationship with my mom growing up, and she was a nurse, and so I kind of resisted all of the medical terminology and anything related to the human body. And of course now I'm like, I want to be an artist, so I have to learn all these things. But at least I don't have to deal with other people's bodily fluids. That is the most important thing, right? The pinky's still off, and I think it's because they're not even, the spaces are not even. Let's do this. We move this down a little. Yeah, that's already better. I think I want to tilt it just the slightest. Maybe this way? Did that do it? Let me see. Is that better? No, because now the pinky's too turned. Okay, but we are still going to move it down, because I liked the way that looked better. So there's supposed to be an even distance between each, like they're supposed to be the same size. And of course, there is an element of light and shadow and stuff that could potentially shorten my sketch. Oops. I swear, the amount of times I forget to switch between erasing and drawing. Hey, Sammy! Okay. Alright, I think think I'm ready to go ahead and ink this. Like, I don't really feel like I need to do a second sketch because I actually had a reference today. For those of you who watched yesterday and the day before, I did not really have many reference photos. Well, yesterday I had one. The first day I did not have one at all. Reference photos are extremely helpful, y'all. It's basically like if you were drawing and looking at something like right in front of you, except that instead it's a photo that you're looking right at. Okay, except we want to go ahead and ink. I'm gonna try a new brush for this. I was watching a video of somebody using this ink bleed brush, and I liked kind of the texture that it had. That looks a little too big for me. Let's see. And it's not something I usually use. Like, I'm pretty much strictly studio pen kind of person, but I don't want to limit my art because I don't want to test new brushes. So we're gonna try, especially since my sketch went so fast, we're gonna play around with some different inking. Although I think I want to streamline this a little bit more. If you ever use Procreate, you can edit your brushes. I like to up the amount of stabilization when I'm inking because it allows me to have my pen move a little bit less jittery. Like, it kind of like corrects itself. You see how that, like, it looks like a dog's tail wagging? Whereas if I didn't have that on that setting, it would zigzag like and follow my pen exactly. So basically it's allowing me to have a little bit of jitter in my wrist or in my hand, but still come out with a smooth line. Because I discovered I actually have a much shakier hand when I'm drawing than I do just kind of in everyday life. I'm a pretty steady-handed person in general. But when I'm drawing, I guess there's a little bit of... Actually, we don't want it to go all the way across because it's just the idea of a crease here. It's not really... There's no real line there. This one can touch the side here because that is the way it looks in the photo, although that's not the right angle. Dan, oh my god, you and your naps. I'm glad you're here now. Taylor says, I have streamline on my sketching and inking brushes for all my pieces. Yes, I seriously, it changes the game for me, like, for real. Makes it so much easier to manage things. Ooh, I really like that. That makes my finger look not like a hot dog, so we're gonna redo this guy and do exactly what I just did over there. See, we're just experimenting. We're figuring things out. Can make this work. Okay. So I kind of did this little number and then kind of like a little bit out here, but like the thinness of the lines kind of comes where the crap, I'm thinking that maybe this finger is a little too long. So that one, it felt like even strokes all the way down. This one does not feel that way. This feels like I've got longer strokes towards the bottom and a much shorter stroke up here. So let's move this guy. down. Erase these again. Kind of give this a little bit more length. And that. I don't know, this inking brush is very unique. I'm so used to like sharp edges that I'm like, it looks very artistic, like it's bleeding onto the page, which, I mean, I guess that's why it's called ink bleed. Okay, we'll clean that up later. I want to move on to, except we're going to bring that in there. Move on to these guys. And actually remember to turn on my pen. Sometimes if I find that I'm drawing a certain thing, it won't go the way I want it to, I just try doing it the opposite direction. Because sometimes that's all I need to get it to go how I want it to. That one felt like building a snowman. Yeah, that's the wrong direction. I'm looking at it, I'm seeing, I thought I was doing it one way and I was doing it the other way. It needs to come in like that. More like a skeleton, less like a snowman. Let's see. Dan, I think you might need to retype that message. Like, okay. Because it definitely held your message. I'm going to allow it just because everybody here knows that you're not cruel. Okay. So Dan says, is this the first time you are doing a hand sketch like this? Technically, no. Is this the second time? Yes. I don't usually draw like realism. I stick with like, you know, the cartoony stuff that you guys are used to seeing. Because I enjoy that kind of art style. At least for me to draw it. I love seeing other people's realism in art. But I personally enjoy drawing more cartoony. So I've been having it in my head like I need to practice drawing hands because it scares me. And I like to do things that scare me because the only way that I will get better is if I practice. So even though this is not an area of confidence for me, I want to keep trying so that I can get better at it. And this guy, we're gonna... I feel like I've erased the lines on this pointer finger like 12 times now. That's what it feels like. But again, I realized, oops, it was kind of going the wrong direction. And this needs to be brought in on the side there. Okay, not too shabby. Let's connect this here. And I'll clean up these lines after the fact. Again, I'm just like not super confident with my hand drawing yet, but I want to make sure I hit all the lines correctly, and then I can make it look more natural, I guess. Like your interpretation of today's prompt. Thank you. Are you able to tell what it is? Because I don't think you were on when I mentioned it. Honestly, I'm not sure. Oh, I just realized that... Yeah, this needs to be more like this with how these meet down at the bottom. So this is gonna need to come down more. Hopefully that doesn't make my fingers look crazy once I erase this line. Okay, moment of truth. Was that better, or am I crazy now? Yeah, they look a little crazy. Let's see. We're gonna do this. We're gonna fix it by chopping the hand in half. You'll see when I do it. Okay. Woo! Let me drop that. That's super helpful. That's dropping a little too much, I think. Okay, now I'm going to pull this down a little bit more. Not too much more. I think that's okay. Yeah, that's better. The fingers don't look quite as crazy. So I didn't have to like pull them down to match the rest of the sketch, so. Oh, okay, so Dan says, I assume path as in the idea of lifelines on your hand. Danny says, no comment. Taylor says, I love to see the way you're interpreting these prompts. Sammy says, Athena says hi. She just laid down on my keyboard and I had to move her. She's so cute. Dan, to answer your question, like I said, I don't think you quite know this reference just yet because you're still in phase 1 of the High Republic, but there's a religious sect in phase 2 called the Path of the Open Hand. So I am drawing an open hand, and I've been reading The Battle of Jeddah, or listening to it since it's an audio drama. Actually, I don't know why I said that. I listen to all my Star Wars books. Doesn't matter if they're audio dramas or not. literally, I saw the word path and I literally could not get anything else into my head other than just path of the open hand. And I was like, you know what? I need to practice drawing hands. Let's just go for it. So that is what I'm doing, even if nobody gets it, because I need to practice drawing hands. Okay. I'm gonna try I want to try and do some like shading. But I don't know how. That is my main problem. Is that I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I can just play with like line thickness. Like right here, I would say there's probably more of a shadow on this side of the hand, but then the light's gonna touch it over here so it can get thinner. And then let's thin out this line. Oh, except that I'm not using the same pen, so that's gonna look funny. If you ever want to erase with the current brush you have, oh, except that's massive, my goodness, okay. If you hold down on the eraser function, when you're selected on this guy, so like if I were to hold down on this right now, it wouldn't do anything. It would just open the brush library. But if you're selected on the current brush you're using and you hold down here, it says erase with current brush. And now I'll have some texture, although it's not at the same size, which means the texture is going to be slightly different. What size am I on here? 19. Let's get this up to 19. Whoop. 19. That way, as I erase, I can kind of keep that same texture. And I could always like redraw this line too if the erasing doesn't work the way I want it to, but I'm gonna try. That's not bad. Can't see any of my nails in this photo, so I'm not gonna worry about trying to draw nails or nail beds or anything. Something else I do need to practice, but not today. Sammy says, Athena is my kitty. I named her Athena Artemis. She's a calico polydactyl and my little goof. Dan says, oh cool, I'm so far behind on the High Republic. Yeah, I honestly have been pretty far behind as well. I'm catching up on phase 2 before phase 3 starts. It's a lot harder for me to get into the High Republic books than it is for me to get into the canon books that are you know, talking about characters and time frames that I'm more familiar with. But the Battle of Jeddah has been pretty good. And I liked the one before that, Convergence, I think. The very first book was of phase 2 was actually that one was good too, Path of Deceit. Honestly, I don't know really what I'm complaining about. I think I just get like overwhelmed sometimes with new characters, and I'm worried that I'm going to be bored or I'm not going to like it, and then when I finally like push through and listen, I'm like, oh, that was good. So I just need to stop being so hard on myself and stubborn. I'm trying to thin out the areas where like the knuckles are to give those a little more definition. the rest of it isn't like gradually getting wider. It's like skinny and then very wide. Like trying to get those more naturally sloping or whatever. Sometimes it's hard to talk and draw at the same time. At least with good English words. I can make sentences that sound like someone thought of them. See? Exhibit A. Okay, so from what I can tell, my cleanup is smoothing out the edges a little bit more than I would particularly like. Which means I might need to ink over this one more time. But I have time for that. Let's see, Dan says, I don't know if I'll catch up. I'm a bad Star Wars fan. No, you're not. You don't have to consume everything in order to be a good Star Wars fan. Round 2. This time I'm going to focus on stroke weight. Except I just did that backwards. I wanted to get thicker up here. And then thinner. Except I didn't stay on the line. This is why. Thinner, thicker, thinner, then thicker and thinner. Okay. And this is also going to start thinner. And we'll go thicker around there. And stay thick until we get to the first knuckle. And thicker, thinner. That is not an S shape, Becca. This is so difficult. My goodness. I need to practice calligraphy or something. That's all about thick and thin. Problem is, I think that line that I'm following is too curved. This needs to be more straight. Thin, thick, thin. How would it connect? Okay. Now this is going to be thin to thick to thin. Thin, thick. That's too far down. Thick and back to thin. Thick. Man, I have no idea how this is gonna end up looking. That's too much curve. Okay, let's see. Sammy says, I feel like I'll never catch up on my Star Wars content. Problem is school and too many fandoms. It's true. There's a lot of fandoms to keep up with, especially if you like so many. I feel like most people are gonna pick like their favorite ones and keep up with those, and then the rest might fall to the wayside. Like I'm having a really hard time catching up with Doctor Who. before the new season starts. I used to be a huge Doctor Who fan. Like, I would stay up super late on school nights binging Doctor Who when I should have been doing homework. Let's see. Dan says, also side note, I love your face art that you do. So cool. Yes, Sammy does incredible makeup art. Sorry, I got distracted. People are coming in and out of my house. Yeah, she does incredible makeup art. That was one of the first things that I noticed about her when we were waiting for Ashley in line. I was like, hi, I like your makeup. Actually, I don't think I said it right away. I thought it. And then, like, we were getting ready to leave, and I was like, by the way, your makeup's incredible, and I really love it. And she was like, oh my god, follow me on Instagram. So, yeah. That's what happened. That's how we met. Dan says, this is looking great, and as you said, good practice doing hands. Yes, I need it. And thank you. Oh, make Lego piece. That would be my brother. Hello, welcome. I tried to get you and Joe started on Doctor Who and you weren't into it, and then like 3 years later you watched them all without me. I know, I am so sorry. So here's the thing about that. We were watching it, and Mom came in the room and she was like, what's this? And then we felt like we weren't supposed to watch it. So then we didn't. And then I had a friend, Maya, who started me watching on Matt Smith's episodes, and I liked it. I liked it a lot more. I think it was just a season of life thing for me. I needed to be a little older to actually really appreciate it. But yeah, that was definitely one of the sins of my past, was watching Doctor Who when I should have been a responsible student. Senioritis hit hard. Let's just say that. Which 2 episodes have you watched? Like, from the first season with the 9th Doctor, I guess. I mean, the one with Chris Eccleston. Dan says, I stopped with the 2nd season of Capaldi and haven't caught up since. Used to watch the Christmas episodes when they aired. Aw, I love the Christmas episodes. Yeah, I don't know how I'm doing with this, like, line weight thing. I think I gave it up without realizing it. Most of my lines look like the same thickness now on this finger. The problem is I keep wanting to, like, make that curve more, and then by the time I fix it, I'm like, oh, that's the same line weight. There's no variation at all. I'm just gonna keep going how I'm doing it. Sammy says, oh, I thought you meant Becca's drawing faces. I did for a second too, and I was like, wait, but why are you mentioning that right now? And then I realized that was definitely what Dan was saying, was your beautiful makeup. It's fallen a little by the wayside with school, but I'm trying to get back now. I got sick, and that didn't help. Oh, I hate getting sick when I'm trying to keep up with something. It's very annoying. I did Savvy's challenge and got burnt out on Star Wars, so I'm returning to my other fandoms for a little bit. Oh, that reminds me, I don't think I ever finished guessing the one you sent me yesterday. Sorry, my bad. Let's see. I can at least try and match the line weight that I had down here, where that got a little bit thicker there. Except I kind of want this to be thicker too. Guys are bopping downstairs. I love it. I'm gonna round this Okay. John Mark says, first two I watched with you. Yeah. Sorry. It's a lot. Honestly, I watched a lot of it even without Joe. And then I finally was like, hey, you should watch this with me. And I conscripted him into staying up super late. And I had, how did I watch that? Well, I think I had like Dad's old laptop or something. And I would wait until Mom and Dad were asleep. And then I would sneak into Joe's room. And I'd be like, okay, it's Doctor Who time, let's go. And we had it like on the lowest volume setting possible. But still able to hear it. But I'd like already watched everything I was introducing him to. I think I had him on iTunes. I think that's what it was. I ended up buying like the Matt Smith seasons. And then he ended up buying on his iTunes account the rest of them. But I think I watched them originally on DVD, the David Tennant ones. I think I was watching those ones on DVD from like the library or something. Sammy says, Ahsoka guided me to the light that is Becca, and I got 2 awesome things that day. Aww. Wait, what was the other thing? Meeting Ashley? That should be the first thing. She's amazing. Dan says, yep, Becca's friendship is a beautiful gift that keeps on giving. You guys are so nice. I don't deserve you. Ooh, that's a little too long. Yeah, actually, I'm looking at this line. It doesn't even go down that low. It kind of curves more like this. Can you guys hear the music downstairs? I'm very curious. Sammy says, it truly is, and it's okay, Becca. It was a tough one. Only Shelby got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely curious. You should message me and tell me what it was. Taylor says, I wouldn't shut up about Downton Abbey for years. And then a few months ago, my dad called me and was like, you know that Downton show you like? I watched all the seasons in a week. Oh my God, I love your dad. That's incredible. We watched Downton Abbey. My brother Joe and I watched Downton Abbey. When we were around that same time frame, actually, when we were watching Doctor Who. And it was so fun because he was always like super excited to watch it. Like most people think of it as like, you know, the drama for chicks or whatever, chick drama. And it's not really, but that's what people thought of it as. And he would like squeal on the couch every single time the opening like title started, the music. He also loves the music of that show, which rightly so. It's beautiful music, but it always made me so happy. It was just like, aw, that's right. Love what you love. I wonder if I can make this look more like actual if this works that way, where I can make it look more like creases and less like half lines, you know, like just like tiny little curves. Does that look more natural or does that just look weird? I'm gonna remove the blue. See if that's easier to see. Sorry, I realized I like zoomed out. Sometimes I zoom out for my own sake, but I forget that you guys can't see it as well when I do that. I think I will need to kind of shade some of these fingers here to make it clear that there's some bending happening, although I don't think I mimicked the bending on these ones as much. It's so weird, like, trying to create shadows with the ink. I'm not used to it at all. I should probably put that on a separate later. I'm thinking about it. No, that just looks weird to me. I might just leave it. Because I don't know how to make it look right. I see, not everybody, but I see so many other people. I'm just gonna erase this whole bit here and just try and make it look natural, even if it doesn't look like the image. I've seen so many other people, like for Inktober especially, doing really cool like hatching and shading and stuff with the ink, and I just don't know how. I need to study some art pieces, because I've gotten used to studying art that I'm interested in replicating, but just like ink drawings is not something that I have pursued as much. It's another reason why I wanted to try Inktober, to challenge myself. Challenge myself to think differently, and we'll see. I mean, we've still got a lot of the month left, so yeah, that looks more natural to me. We've still got a lot of the month left, and lots more to do. Okay, let me catch up over here. Oh, John Mark, I was just, oh crap, what did I say? What did I say? I think I was just mentioning that Joe and I watched Doctor Who in the middle of the night. I conscripted him into it. But I was the one who got obsessed. It was Maya's fault. Maya is honestly the reason for a lot of my obsessions. She introduced me to Les Mis. She introduced me to Hamilton. She introduced me to Harry Potter. And Doctor Who. So, your crazy teenage sister was mostly the fault of Maya. Let's see. Taylor says, needless to say, I was bitter that he watched all of it without me and didn't have to suffer for the years between seasons. That is accurate. I think I started watching Downton Abbey when season 2 was out. So like I was able to watch the first 2 seasons, but I had to wait for season 3 and 4 and 5, obviously. Okay, you guys can hear the bass, okay. Taylor says, my dad got super invested. How do you survive the wait after the cliffhangers? I had to tell him where he could find the movies to watch. That's awesome. I love that that your dad got so invested in that. It's a good show. Kiffin wants to watch it, but he's like, I don't know. I'm gonna commit to it, and then I'm gonna be like obsessed with it, and I'm not gonna want to do anything else. And I was like, yeah, probably. Because it's good. It's It's dramatic. And he actually said he started it once when he got sick, but then he just like wasn't in the mood for it at the time. So he didn't stick with it, but I introduced him to one of my favorite shows, which is called Poldark, and it's similar in that it's like a period drama, and there is a decent amount of drama because it makes for good television. But he was very invested in it, which I knew he would be, which is why I told him he should watch it. Let's round this out a little bit better. I'm really just being nitpicky now. I'm pretty sure this is what I'm going to go with, because I don't really know how to do like shadows and stuff, and I think I am going to go ahead and make these lines. If I change to my make these lines thicker. It was fun to play around with a new brush though. I have to see what else I can do with this guy. Okay. Now the last thing that I wanted to add, I've got to figure out how to do this because I want it sounds like really bad, but like I want it to be kind of, actually how well can I can still write pretty well with this. Okay. It kind of needs to be a different, I want to say a different pen, but I also kind of like this bleeding look. Let me see here. What have we got to work with? The main problem is I want to write over top of this, but I don't want it to like interfere with it. So maybe if I just make the pen size bigger, maybe that will delineate it. Yeah, that should work. It needs to be a little smaller because I still need to fit all the words in here. Maybe there. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna scooch this up. I honestly really want this to be red, but I'm gonna try and stick with the rules, not make it red, even though I really want it to be. And then move this guy down. Or not down, just to the left a little. Actually, now this, oops. It's too close together. Oh, goodness. Totally chopped the top of that W off. I wonder if I chopped anything else off over here. Okay. Let's see. Does that feel too busy? Also, what happened up here? Whose idea was that? Not mine. Oh, something funky. Oh, I know what happened. Okay. Everything's fine. So what happened, goodness, I decided to adjust some lines over here, but I did it on the wrong layer. Oh crap, there's more. Where are they? Okay, I don't know. They're here somewhere, and no one will see them because I can't see them. Okay. Anyway, I adjusted this right here because I noticed it, but I did it on the wrong layer, and so when I grabbed the entire layer of words to move it down, it moved that little smidge down too. Okay. I don't love this palm right here, so I'm gonna just bring him in a little bit more. Erase that a little bit. And erase this a lot bit. That's better. Thank you, Taylor. She says, I love how it looks. Okay, I think I'm gonna settle with that. I mean, at this point, I could just be nitpicky, like a crazy overthinker, like a Virgo. Or I could just settle and say, that's it. That's what I did. This is today's piece. I think I will still sign in my studio pen because, actually it's right here, because it's comfy to me. I'm gonna do it on this side today. Except okay. We'll sign this again on another layer. Okay. Now we can make it smaller, because I don't want to write that small, you know, but I do want it to be smaller. Is that hand centered? I kind of want it to be more centered. We can move it all over. Just a wee bit. Well, of course, no, it was perfectly centered before. Of course it was. It doesn't look centered. That looks more centered to me. Probably just because it's at an angle. I'm gonna let it be like that. Even though it's technically not centered. Okay. Thank you, Alf Sauce. He says, such a cool piece. Appreciate it. Aw, Dan. I'm glad you were able to join too. Honestly, I'm pretty much done, so you didn't miss much. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the concert. All right. And I think that is my piece for today. Thank you all for joining, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming in the morning, so I'll be streaming at 8 Mountain Time, which will be 10 Eastern Time. I know it's early, but it's the only time I have on Wednesdays to stream or to draw at all. So that's when I'll be streaming. So if you're able to join in the morning, I'll be happy to talk with you. If you're not able, that's okay. Awesome. See you tomorrow.